But tonight we're going to be, I will be a functioning church member. Functioning. Okay? A lot of people can just be members, but here in a second, Ron's going to talk about the difference between a partner, which we call people in our church partners. We want you to partner with us, and members. And yes, the book is called I Am a Church Member, and we'll follow that theme throughout the whole book. However, here we like to say partners, and here's one of the reasons why.
When we go into membership versus partners, what we are talking about is membership means perks. You expect something. You want to get something. But as partners, we understand and realize that our rewards are in heaven.
Amen.
You know, I like to think of the fact that that's all I need. You could give me $1 million. I know I wouldn't mess that up. But as a partner,
You'd buy me a Lamborghini, wouldn't you?
yeah,
All right, cool.
I wouldn't have it next month. I wouldn't have $1 million. It'd be gone. That's how bad I am.
Well, between taxes and all that other stuff, people
Oh, no.
coming out of the woodworks like me asking you for things, right?
Well,
sorry.
that's
Off
true.
track.
That's true. That's true. And then membership means privilege. But partners means we humble ourselves. We're not. We don't expect anything, but we want to be humble, you know, and grateful of the things that we have.
Right.
Okay? And then also, membership means, I like this one, others serve me.
That's right.
And people expect that. They expect people to serve you.
Yeah.
But partners serve others. Come on, somebody.
Oh, wow.
Think about that.
Because you're
What
in it
did-
together.
Yeah. What did Jesus do? He said, I come not to, but he
Not to be
came
served.
to serve.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and you know what? There's something good about serving others.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you don't believe that, then ask our Giant Slayer team. Ask Jim over there. And where's Sprinkles at? Ask Sprinkles. He'll tell you. It feels good to go out and serve others. It really does. And matter of fact, that's better than any amount of money that somebody can give you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Remember when you guys went down to Florida and after the hurricane and started building, helping people build their stuff up, and the look on the people's faces that you came in, didn't ask them for nothing, but you just automatically jumped in. What kind of feeling was that, Rob?
Well, when you literally rip, we did demo work. We didn't build anything. We did some painting, if you call that building, but we did a lot of demo work.
Right.
But to literally rip every single thing out except for, and I'm literally, except for the kitchen sink and the bathroom sink, of ripping all of that out of somebody's home and opening cabinets and drawers and water and some kind of sea creature-ish thing that's in that drawer. You could see the pictures, you could see the damage, but it was the smell. Like, it takes a few weeks. So you're smelling that all day long as you're working and demoing. You know, a lot of the stuff is all waterlogged. And you're taking it to the street in a certain area it's like a mile long, you know, probably 10 yards wide at some places we've been. And that's everybody, that's their stuff. And we were on Pine Island in Cape Coral, and they considered it a sandbar, meaning that they couldn't bring another trailer on the island. So whatever they had to stay there. And there was, towards the end of the week, and I don't remember if it was Braden, I think it was Braden and I talking to somebody, and they said, hey, there's an 80-some-year-old lady down the street. Her trailer hasn't been touched. And we were there a month and a half after hurricane. And we went down there, and I mean, it was just, the smell was atrocious. We had to take everything out. And just the hugs, the thank yous. At the end of the day, you're really tired because you're hoofing it.
Yeah.
You're really hoofing it because, and you're spending a lot of time in prayer because you're like, Lord, I don't ever want to be in a situation like this. But give me the strength to help them through what they're going through. And for them to stop and pray for you, because we're so used to praying for other people. We're so used for blessing other people when we're in these situations. There's nothing that's like that.
I know.
The people just crying and hugging you. We've led people to Jesus through those times. We've argued with people during those times that weren't so nice. But yeah, I mean, it's the rewards of serving other people. That's why I keep doing it. It's just, not so I get rewards, not so I get that stuff, but I just get blessed so much. I mean, it's hard work. You get home and, you got junk and gunk and you smell like you rolled out of something, And just you hop in the shower, and during that shower time, all that stuff is washing off of you, and just reminds you of what Jesus is doing, is just washing all that stuff off of you.
Let me show you some unbiblical viewpoints. This is what is kind of expected in, I guess you could say, in some members.
Some members, yeah.
Some church members.
Yeah, their viewpoint,
Christians,
but it's unbiblical.
Yeah, however you want to put it. It says, like, you have to play the music I like.
I heard some people from the worship team laughing.
Remember who pays your salary. You
Yeah.
remember who pays your salary.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have an answer for that one.
I know you do.
You want to hear my answer for that one?
Yes.
If anybody was to ever say that to me, I'd be like, well, your portion of your tithing doesn't go to my salary. We take that from somebody else.
Or, do you tithe? So, okay, let's not go there. Or, I have been a member for, you fill in the blank, so many years. I have a right to get what I want. If you don't do this, I love this part. And I've watched this happen. I actually watched a guy come back and ask for, I'll withhold my check to the church. And
Not here.
No.
You didn't see it here.
No,
Right.
it wasn't here. It was at a church, another church. The pastor of it and stuff. And the guy actually was a preacher that said, okay, well, give me my money back. It's not yours anyway. People forget that. But anyway, to this, membership is about receiving instead of giving. So what does the Bible say about church membership?
Church membership means that we are all necessary, and we've talked about this, that other people are counting on you to be here. Not the pastoral staff, people next to you in your seats, people in the area across the room. A lot of people are like, man, I can't wait to get to church so I can see this person. And so it means that we are all necessary. It's a clear biblical picture that we see in 1 Corinthians 12 through chapter 12 through chapter 14. In chapter 12, Paul explains the church as being a body with many members. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago before we even cracked open this book, but that there are different parts of the body and we play a part. Okay? We play a part. There's one part you don't want to play, okay, of the body. Chapter 13, it establishes love and the central attitude and action that we should have. Okay? The love chapter.
Yes.
Is what it's commonly known as. It's also done in a lot of weddings. We kind of walk through that in weddings. In chapter 14, Paul, he's at this Corinth church, and that the members of that church have it all wrong.
Right.
And so he's correcting that. And many people view membership as a business or an organizational contract. They also think of it as that's the concept, the business model, because they're business people. And so a lot of people struggle with that, especially if they're on a board or if they're in a leadership role. They're so used to corporate America, and that was a struggle for me of being in charge of some things at my secular job, of going into ministry, I really struggled at first of, it's my way. This has to get done. If you can't do it, I'm just going to move on to somebody else. And that's not how we do it at church.
No.
We got to show lots of love, lots of grace. And so chapters 12 through 14 really show us that. Really 12 and 13 do. Well, 14 does too. And so I suggest that you go back and you read those chapters to understand, maybe I am trying to be a member, not a partner. Maybe I'm not being a really good church member. And so that's what we have on that one.
However, it is very biblical. 1 Corinthians 12 and 12 says, "For as the body is one and has many parts, and all the many parts of that one body are one body, so also is Christ." We are a part of the body. Some are eyes, some are ears, some are feet, some are hands, and so on. You know, I can tell you about that. Being an old track fellow, you know, I had my little toe stepped on or spiked.
Ouch.
Yeah.
If you don't know what a track spike is, it's really pointy, and it's about that long.
Yes.
It hurt.
And so it being down there and the brain being up here, it took a minute for that to register, but when it did, the brain said, shut down, because you're not going to run any further. So you see, every part of the body is important. No matter what you think of the lowliest job, sometimes you think cleaning the bathrooms, or, you know, it's not all about sitting up here. It's about everybody being part of this body and doing whatever it takes to make it successful. And you know what? Here's the real key. Doing it without complaining. Okay.
That's good.
Maybe we ought to move on, Rob. You know?
I have something for this that's not in the church, but in a hospital setting.
Okay.
In a hospital setting, if you're at the hospital, what is the most important job at the hospital? It's the lowest, one of the lower paid positions. But what do you think is the most important? The janitor. Why? Right. It keeps you from getting infection. So if you're one that's cleaning, if you're one that's putting away, if you're one that's doing all of that, that's just as important.
That's right.
I mean, we can do all the surgery, but if it ain't clean, it's getting infected.
Lawsuit.
Well, no, don't. We edit that out. No lawsuits, okay? No lawsuits.
Just kidding.
But as we talk about the body, we're different, but we still have to work together.
Yes.
And so we have different parts and different pieces in the body, and so all of those have to work together. And we see that in 1 Corinthians 12:26. If one part suffers, every part suffers. If there's somebody in this church that's suffering, we should all suffer with them
Yes.
and understand what's going on so we can help them. So every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it.
Come on.
Example, we've gotten lots of awards and accomplishments with this church in our 7 years. A lot of them are hanging on my wall in my office. but none of them are because of me. It's because of us. A lot of the stuff that we do, it's not me by myself doing it. And so I always honor, it's because of the church, the people that are behind me, the people that are walking with me. That's why we get those awards. In a country club membership, you pay others to do the work for you. You go to a country club, a golf course, you go in the bathroom, they don't have paper towels, they have towels. They have like towels. And then they just throw them on the ground or whatever. I've seen this at a place my brother-in-law used to work at. And they expect everybody else to clean it up. And they say, job security. I'm like, you're a fool. But here with partnerships, everyone has a role or a function in the church. Everyone. Everyone. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a function. And you're like, well, what about the little kids? Well, if we didn't have the little kids, we wouldn't be growing.
That's right.
If we're a church with no kids and students, we might as well close the doors, buddy, because it's
a dead
about to
church.
die.
Yep.
And we're all different. We're all different. That's what makes it good, is that we're all different. And people bring things to me, and I'm like, I don't know. Let me send you to Don. Let me send you to this person. Let me send you to Ron or Jason or Jordan or anybody that's on our staff. And I don't have all of the answers. And so without all of us working together, we can't help the people that we need to help the right way.
Right.
Because I'm not one that's just going to give you an answer. I don't do that. If I don't know, I'm going to find somebody that knows and send you their way. Not because I don't want to work with that person, but because they're going to get better help from you than they would from me, who doesn't know, I've never been through that.
You know, everything we say or do is based on biblical love. Watch this, because I struggled with this. You aren't called to like people. Here we go. You know,
Yeah.
You're called to love them. And I've kind of always believed, well, how can you love somebody if you don't like them? And so I had two people straighten me out. One's up there at the booth, and the other one's sitting right next to me. They explained, said, well, do you like your wife all the time?
That was from Vincent, not me. Mama Jan, Vincent said that, not me.
Yes, right, I do. I love her all the time. And I never thought of it that way. But the one thing is, God asked us to love one another.
I got corrected with this today.
You did?
Oh, yes. We were at the house talking about something, and I was just on fire, and not in a really good manner. And I got correct. I'm sitting here with my computer open as we're talking about something, and I scrolled down, and I'm like, well, I guess this is talking to me like right now, my message for tonight. That I don't have to like that person, but I'm not called to like people. I'm called to love people.
Right.
If we do it like people, then when they upset us, then we don't like them anymore. But if we're called and we follow to love people, then when they hurt us or do stuff, we're still going to show love. We may not like what they do or maybe keep them further than an arm length away, but we still need to show love.
Yes.
I got corrected by that today. I just wanted to share that.
Yes. You know, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 5, here it goes. And Jan and I had this at our wedding, read off. In Spanish, matter of fact. It says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous. It does not brag. And it's not proud. Love is not rude. It is not selfish. And it cannot be made angry easily. Love does not remember wrongs done against it.
That's so good.
Yes.
The first part, I wonder why Paul put patient first. Love is patient. But I'm so glad that God's love for us is patient.
That's right.
And because of that, I think that's why that's there, so that way we can show patience in our relationship with people. And we are to love the unlovable.
Mm.
We are called to love people.
Yes.
And our motto here is hashtag love well. It's not hashtag love well with people you love. It's hashtag love well. All the time, everywhere, anytime, any place, all over the place. And even for those that you don't like. Pray and encourage those that we don't like.
Mm.
Love, pray, encourage.
I like that.
Serve the church as if it was us alone. Serve your family as if it's only you doing it. And if you don't do it, it'll fall apart. Same way with the church. And more than serving others, you're serving God and being obedient to Him. And I think we get that kind of messed up sometimes. Because the church is really built on authentic, unconditional love.
Wow.
I've been in a church where there were ladies fighting literally in the sanctuary. Right, Keenan and Mia? In the sanctuary. I had to call a friend of mine. I knew something was happening. And I called my friend. I said, hey, I need you to be here tomorrow because I need you to watch my family when I'm not. Something's going to happen. I just felt it in my spirit. That is not love. In the holy place. In the sanctuary. And it wasn't at the beginning of the service. So there was an altar call. There was worship. There were people that were praying. There was, all of the stuff. And it was at the end. And you could just feel it building and building and building. That's not a true church. That's not true followers of Jesus. And that's not true leadership if that happens in your church.
I got one that tops that. Or is that a church where two deacons were cussing each other out and getting ready to go to blows in the parking lot with young people coming out? What's that?
I mean, I have some words for that, but they're not appropriate.
True.
Church membership is being a part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a part of the body, not just, well, everybody else is a part, I'm just going to sit over here. Where on your body is anything just sitting there? It's not, because it's not attached to you, right? You can remain on the roll call. Okay, you can remain on the sheet as active person of the church. You can remain active at multiple different churches and even be revered as a member just by giving a nice sum. I gave $20,000 to that church. But that's not a biblical church member. Being a member at multiple different churches, being a member because you gave a lot of money but you never go. I mean, I'm thankful for the people who give that don't go to our church, but I want them to be in a local church. I want them to be discipled. It means something when we're here. One, that we get to minister to each other, but we get to be ministered to by people. And if we're just hopping around and just lollygagging and doing all this other stuff, we're not truly invested in that place. We're not fully, okay, these are my roots, man. These are my people, man. These are this is it. And Paul uses a metaphor of the body to speak of the church for two reasons. First, is that the body is unified whole. It's unified. You need every piece. You can't, if your big toes are cut off, it's hard for you to walk. Okay? What was it? Rocky Blair had his foot blown off or something like that in Vietnam. And he was a running back.
For Pittsburgh Steelers, yeah.
But I'm sure he had lots of pain. You watch a lot of people who played sports, and there's a lot of things that happen to their feet that it's hard for them to walk. Their knees get shot out, shoulders, different things for different sports. Second is that the unified body is made up of many parts, and so is the church. There's a lot of different parts of the body, but you can see it in the church. And he's using the metaphor of a body because we understand that.
Right.
You know, like without our heart, we're pretty much dead, right?
Right.
Without the oxygen, we can't breathe. If we can't breathe, we can't bring in oxygen. If we can't hear, we lose one of our senses. We may cut off a finger, and then we're 9.5 instead of 10. Right, Keith? We need all of it. We need all of it. The fingernail is important. The knuckle is important so your finger can move. The tendons are important so that way it works correctly. Your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, all of your senses, your touching. And here's an example. Okay? And this is a way to kind of reset your body when you feel like you are kind of upset, angry, mad, frustrated, ticked off. You can name all of that stuff. And you can do it in any order you want.
That's right.
But I want you to think about 5 things in the church that's in the church that you can see. Just look around, and what are 5 things? Like I see a TV. I see Chris. I see the banner. I see a trash can. I see the front door or back door, however you want to say that. Entry door.
Cheers.
What are 4 things that you hear? What are 3 things that you can touch? I can touch the remote in my hand. I can touch my hat. I can touch my knee. What are 2 things that are around you that you might be able to taste? A cookie. Coffee. And as you go through that whole process, it kind of, it calms you and it brings you down when you're upset. And it's the same thing with the body. If you're upset, you're worried, you're fearful, you know who to go to. You know who's going to help calm you down in a situation that you're struggling with. But if you don't know what part you are, that could be hard for you.
Man. Well, Paul lays out every part. The foot used to walk. The hand used to grasp. The ear used to hear. The eye used to see. The nose used to smell. The fact that there is so much diversity in our church is for sure our strength.
Oh, absolutely,
That's the good thing about it.
absolutely.
We all play a part. We're all one of these things because we're all part of the body. All of us in here make one. Think about that. No matter how different you think that you are from the person sitting next to you. Matter of fact, take a look at the person on your left. Now take a look at the person on your right. Guess what? They're part.
They're looking at each other. They're looking the wrong way. One's looking left and one's looking right. Your other right.
That's all right. Just know this, that the person you just looked at is a part of the body of Christ.
That's right.
Here at Mercy Base.
That's right.
So that is our strength. Where two or three are gathered?
That's right.
Yeah. Everyone should have a part. Everyone should be functioning. Everyone should have a role.
Say that one.
Let's look at it again.
Yeah.
Everyone should have a role.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what. I want to say this. Like, I can remember having a conversation with Grandma Bobby. Okay? That beautiful lady over there sometimes wondered what her purpose was.
Right.
And you know what it is? Just her being here. Just her smiling when she comes in through all the adversities that she's been through. She's here.
Oh, and that hug.
That hug, that's right.
Come on.
That's it.
That
You
hug.
could- See, sometimes we think it's got to be something grandiose, but it's not.
Right.
It's the simplest of things. Everybody plays a part.
Yeah.
Everybody. We are all different. We all have spiritual gifts, and those gifts are placed here to help unify the church. And when the church is unified, it builds up his kingdom, not ours.
Say that again.
It builds up his kingdom,
That's right.
not ours.
That's right.
It's
We're
not
kingdom
about
builders.
us. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not about us. It's about he who created us. We grow as the church when we serve the church.
What's the church? Is it the metal?
No,
Is it all the instruments?
no,
The chairs?
no.
Or who sits in them?
It's who sits in them.
Yeah. That's the church.
Each one of us is the church. I used to go around, I used to do this. I used to use a thing of, okay, I can say St. Chris. See, you're a church. All right? All right, let's see. No, John, I'm not going to pick on you this time. I was going to say St. Sprinkles, S&S, but I'm not going to do that. But you get the idea, okay? St. Jordan. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Each one of us are individuals. Each one of us is different. But when we come together and make the whole, we are one. Isn't that amazing how different we are? I'm glad I'm not like Rob. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm definitely glad I'm not like Robert. But I'm glad Robert is here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad they can't get that on camera. All right.
All right.
I will be a unifying church
You
member.
skipped ahead.
Huh?
You skipped ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I
we've been-
just cut you out, didn't I?
Yeah. You cut out one of the most important. Where's the sprinkles going? You might want to sit down for this part. You're
That's
going to
good.
miss out.
Come on. Because, yeah,
We know what part he is.
yeah.
Um,
Come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
Just
should not
kidding,
have
just
skipped
kidding.
past this.
yeah. How can I serve my church?
Mm.
Well, Everybody get your phones out. Pull up your texting. Put in the number 317-203-8028. It should populate because it's the church text number that we text to you. And then put in serve, SERVE, lowercase. I didn't try it with the bigger case, so I know it works with the lowercase. And then hit send. We're going to help you try to figure out, how can I serve the church? What that's going to do is it's going to take you to a Google form. It looks like this. It's pretty big. You can see all that, right? You can read that from your seat. And so what it'll be a spiritual gifting assessment. And a lot of you have taken that in our Launch Point class. But what it'll do is it has a link that will take you to that. You can take that link, and then I want you to write out 3 of your top scores. What are the top 3? Okay? Like when I took it, it was pastor, evangelist, and I forget what the other one was. I think administration or something like that. And so what are your top 3? And then what we want you to do is go to the next form down here, the Google link. Okay, so you write them down, or your top 3. Then you come back to this and you go to that link and you send those 3 things on that Google form. That Google form is going to go to Monica. Monica has access to that. Monica is our serve team director. And we haven't really been able to use that position yet because a few people, we found there was a hole in our church from going to class and getting plugged in. And so now we have this ability with Monica to be able to go through that and to help people find out, one, what is my spiritual giftings and how do I use them in the church? You'll also have on one of those links, like pastor, what is pastor? Administration, what is administration? It'll give you the gifting that you have, all the giftings that they have in the spiritual gifting assessment, and it'll give you a description of what that means. And so then send that to Monica, and then Monica will be working with you, and it'll give us an opportunity to help figure out how we can help you have purpose in the church by using your giftings. And look, check this out. Maybe you're an accountant. Your gifting may not be in accounting. You may be gifted in some other area that you can serve the church. And what a lot of churches do is they find the financial people, and they're like, okay, you're going to be my bookkeeper. Well, maybe that person, maybe their passion is working with little kids. Maybe their passion is, I don't know, working on the sound booth. Maybe they were a DJ when they were younger and they love music. And we have people in the wrong spot. And so that's going to happen as you text that. You'll get that form, fill out the spiritual gifting assessment, probably like later tonight or tomorrow. And then you'll send that in on the Google form, and then we'll work with Monica over the next week of making sure that those are coming in. And then how are we going to follow Monica's lead of helping people find spots where you can serve your church? Maybe somebody out there is a drummer. Maybe somebody out there loves working sound. Maybe somebody loves doing something that maybe we don't even have yet. Maybe somebody's gifted in an area that you didn't even know you had a gifting in. You're like, well, I have this gifting. And Monica says, well, we can get you plugged in here, but let's get you some discipleship to empower you, to equip you, to empower you to do what your giftings are. And it's all but what you say in this assessment. So be honest. Don't just pick all the high ones, hit click, and then you're going to choose what you want. Be honest. If something's not, nope, very satisfied. Nope. Or very dissatisfied. Yeah, very satisfied. Satisfied. It has different things for you to choose from. It'll calculate it all up for you. But allow Monica as the serve team director to help you get plugged in. And when you're plugged in to the church of serving, and it doesn't have to be every week. It can be if you want it. It doesn't have to be every week. I spoke at a church that I got saved in right before, was it before Christmas? No, it was earlier this year. And I asked Steve, what do you want me to speak about? He said, I want you to speak about serving. I'm trying to get the men in the church to serve. We have a lot of women that serve and not a lot of men. And we have a lot of men that have a lot of giftings. And I walked in that church, and I hadn't been in it in a long time. And I walked into the youth room, and I remember being in that youth room with David and Maddie and Doug and Trish and Tony. And all of these memories just started flowing back, helping build the stage, helping putting lights up, talking to students at the carpet ball, getting called into youth ministry. And I told them, I remember being called to serve at this church. And I told the pastor no, because I was coaching high school basketball at the time. But when I decided I need to serve the church, it was that room right across the hallway where I started a 5th, 6th grade, or 6th and 7th and 8th grade Bible study. And I had no clue what I was doing. But I loved Jesus, and I loved students. Where is it that you can serve? And I got so much joy. I couldn't wait to be with those students. I couldn't wait. And so hopefully, by being honest in this assessment and allowing Monica to help you get plugged in, and we'll work with Monica on this as well. It's not just here, Monica, get people plugged in. But it's allowing her to use her skill set of helping people, getting you trained up for what it is that you feel like God's calling you to help. You know, some people do the gifting assessment and they're just, meh. So be honest with it so that way you'll know. So for those that are online, text 317, text SERVE to 317-203-8028, and it'll send you all of that, and you can figure out what it is. And those that aren't here tonight can do that as well. All right, let's move along because we're in chapter 2 now.
Yes.
I will be a unifying church member. See, God's plan is for all of his people to get along. Okay? We don't have to like each other sometimes. We have to love each other.
All the time.
And getting along is being unified for him. Okay? John 13:35 in the New King James Version, it says, by this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another.
That thing called unity. Unity is super important and critical. You and I must contribute to the unity of Mercy Base. Ephesians 1:15 and 16 says, this is why, since I heard about your faith in the Lord Jesus and your love for all the saints, I never stop giving thanks for you as I remember you in my prayers. Paul is telling the church to be thankful for their love of Jesus and the saints. For the love of Jesus and the saints. We love Jesus, we love one another. We love Jesus, we love one another. We love Jesus, we love one another. Unity is critical What is our vision? A ministry built on relationship. What is our God? Built as our goal, excuse me. Sorry. What is our goal? Build relationship to build the kingdom. Do you reflect the vision and the goal? If no, why not? Oh, here's the thing. Gossip and judgment do not belong here. Can I repeat that? Gossip and judgment do not belong here. Unity in the body does.
I had a lady this week. It's funny when we write messages or we're going through this book and then we're putting stuff down that we're taking out of the book. And there was a lady this week that posted about people talking about her and gossip and all of that stuff. And I preached a message on gossip a long time ago. And gossip is like going and standing on the top of a building. And so let's say the church top is flat. And you climb up there with a feathered pillow. And you're mad at somebody. And so you take that feathered pillow on a windy day. And you just start shaking it. You cut it. And you start shaking it. All the feathers come out. They fly all over the place. Then you find out you were wrong. Well, with that pillow, you can't go down off of the top of that building and find all of those feathers and put every single one back inside of there. See, sometimes, and this is why I always wait for the facts, what is popular in our culture, in our church culture predominantly, is we hear something, we think it's hear something, see something, say something, and we don't get all the facts. Hey, do you see Larry and Susie sitting over there talking? I think they're going out. Well, Johnny, they're married. I think they're going out. And then somebody behind you, you're just carrying on a conversation, and somebody behind you hears that, and now they start telling people. And they start telling people. And they start telling. And then it gets back to their spouses, and that's not a fun conversation, I'm sure. With the spouses, they're like, I was just telling her she was in charge of the cafeteria next week, and just telling her where the money and the keys are. Now it's all around the church that they're sleeping together. You can't fix that. You can't go back and make that right. And so we have to especially love people and make sure that we are not starting the gossip without having all of the facts. And then, don't gossip about it. Go hold your people accountable. Say, hey, what's going on? I noticed this. I noticed that. Don't just start blabbing, because at the end, you'll look foolish. And so Ephesians 4, 1 through 3, therefore, as a prisoner of serving the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of your calling, for you have been called by God. Always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowances for each other's faults because of your love. Make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit.
Say that again.
Keeping yourselves united in the Spirit. Not your feelings, not your beliefs, not your wants, not your needs. In the Spirit. Binding yourselves together with peace. You have a responsibility as a member or as a partner here to be a source of unity. Bad-mouthing people is not unity. It's not being unifying.
No.
To never be a divisive force. Do you want to gossip? Gossip at work. Don't gossip here. God will correct you on that. You'll have to answer to every word that was spoken. If you don't agree with what I'm doing, first pray. Because we follow the Spirit. A lot of times we do things we're not sure why we're doing it, but we know that the Spirit told us to do it. And so we follow it. And a lot of things that we do, you guys all know because we share this. There's 4 of us on the leadership, I don't really want to say executive, but that's what it is. That if all 4 of us don't agree, we don't do it.
That's right.
We want to make sure that we are following the Spirit. There's a lot of ideas I thought were the best ideas ever that got shot down, and we didn't do them because it wasn't unified. And if it's not unified, we're not going to move in that direction. And so as a church, we have to be unifying with each other, helping each other, and walking. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. Am I going to screw things up and jack it up? Absolutely. I will. I'll jack it up. Okay? But not purposefully. But I will. I'll mess things up. I'll say things that piss you off. And sometimes I'm sorry. Sometimes it's what you need to hear. I'm pretty open about that. This doesn't mean that we are going to agree with everybody all the time. Stacy and I don't agree on things all the time. Heck, sometimes I don't even agree with some of my own ideas I come up with. I'll think about it, I'll write it down, I'll look at it another day, and I'm like, that was stupid. That was a dumb idea. So sometimes we don't even agree with ourselves, you know what I'm saying? But we have to show unity. And we have to believe in what the Holy Spirit's directing us to do. We seek unity, we demonstrate Christ's love. When we work the part of the body that God has placed us in with other people with the parts of the body that they are, we move as a whole. Otherwise, we fall because we forgot the leg. And we go to take a step and we're like, oh, it all comes crumbling down. But we have to work together. We have to be unified. We don't have to agree on everything.
No.
We don't. When people don't agree with me on our team, we talk about it. Then we get probably a better idea. Or we're like, well, that was definitely dumb. Right? We're all broken. We're all jacked up. That's what church is for. When people come in and say, oh, man, they're just hypocrites. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
People in church are hypocrites.
Yes.
But they're worse hypocrites if they don't show love. Okay? We live in a sinful world. We do sinful things. And we're searching after a Jesus and following a Jesus to become like him. Not become him, become like him. And be unified with the other people that are around us so that way we can reach the goal that God has called us to go to. But we're going to jack things up. We're going to say things that make each other mad. We're going to make decisions and go, we probably shouldn't have done that. You know, making a decision to move from one giving platform to another giving platform. We were working through some of the beta testing, and we came into a snag, and the person was like, oh, man, I jacked this all up, and da-da. It's okay. It's the beta testing. That's the perfect. Jim's raising his hand. Because he has access to it, and he changed something, and he thought it was his, but it was actually the church's. And so if it would have continued that way, all the money would have went in his account. Oh, he was so upset. I was like, this is what this is for. It hasn't batched out yet, so we're good. And so it allowed us to find out what their customer service was like. And we called and they said, hey, do this, do that, go back in, da 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 da. And so I did it, and I said, hey, Jim, it's all good. And he's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hey, we wouldn't know how to fix something like that if that didn't happen. And that's just an example of how things get messed up, but we work through it, and then we find out the right thing in the end. We seek unity, we demonstrate Christ's love, and are you doing your part? Are you doing your part? Or are you expecting the foot to do it?
That's real good.
Let's all be united in the Spirit.
Don't tolerate gossip and other negative talk. Here's one for you. Whether it comes to you first or somewhere in the middle, you have the power to stop
Ooh,
it.
sorry.
It's all right. You do. You have the power to stop it by just telling someone, whoever's starting it or bringing it to you, and you don't have to be rude about it, but you can always let them know that you're not interested in hearing it, or you can just tell them right out. That's hearsay. You don't know if it's true or not. But it should stop with you as a believer. Romans 1:29-31 says, their lives became full of every kind of wickedness, sin, greed, hate, envy, murder, quarreling, deception, malicious behavior, and gossip. They are backstabbers.
I thought it was some kind of skydiving.
Oh, yeah. Backstabbers, haters of God, insolent.
I forgot my mic was off. I thought you were talking about skydiving there for a second, jumping out backwards or something. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Proud and boastful. Ooh. They invent new ways of sinning. Man, that's new ways of sinning. Wow. And they disobey their parents. Children. They refuse to understand, break their promises, are heartless, and have no mercy. Wow. What a list. And gossip is right in the middle. Gossip tears apart a church and renders it powerless.
So it shouldn't be tolerated. We need to show forgiveness and unity. And so we need to learn how to forgive people. Christ forgave us. God forgave us. And we should forgive others. Matthew 6:14-15. It says, if you forgive other people when they sin against you, our Heavenly Father will also forgive you. That's great.
Yes.
But then there's verse 15. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins.
Nothing destroys a church unity faster than unresolved forgiveness. Paul wrote in Colossians 3:12-13, just as the Lord forgave you, you must also forgive. Will the worship team please come up?
So be a part of the body. The body has many parts, many pieces, and it's for you to be a part of. You're part of the body when you're serving other people.